In this video, I'm going to show you 5 things I wish I knew as soon as I installed my OpenClaw a couple of weeks ago. I see OpenClaw blowing up on the internet, everybody getting agents, but honestly at the start, they just don't have a lot of hand-holding. It's kind of, this is how you set it up, now go do things. I hope to fix that in this video. I want to give you some practical things you can do, some very direct prompts to put into your OpenClaw that will make it 10x more usable for you after watching this video. I'm really excited to do this video, so with all that being said, let's dive in. To give you an idea, I'm going to get you here. We're going to do some very interesting stuff, but we're going to have to start off with some of the more boring stuff that's going to get you here. But this is where we're going to end up. And if you haven't set up OpenClaw yet, at the end of the video, I'll give a brief walkthrough on how to do that, but the main point of this is for people that have already set it up, so I'm going to dive right into that aspect. The most important part getting started is giving your bot a memory. If you do not do this and you do not have a good way to compact information and save it to the memory, you're going to have 2 major problems. First off, it's not going to remember anything. You're going to build something and then you're going to try to reference what you built and it's not going to know at all. Whether that's just like a simple cron job automation that emails you every day, or whether it's something you built a website and spent half the day on, it's not going to remember it. Or number 2, it's going to try to read back on every single part of the session that you're in, and it's going to waste a ton of API credits if you're using API credits, and it's going to burn through tokens. It's pretty easy to fix this, and I'll show you how. So right now, I'm going to do session size because this is something that I've created. And this shows, exactly how big our current session is going. And I want to do this for a reason. So it'll show you that, we've used 20% of the max tokens of the session. So we've used 31,000 out of 200,000 tokens for this session. So it's 15% full. So this would actually be fine. I would normally keep building, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this trigger that does new session. And what this does is, and it'll actually show you under the thing, this summarizes, saves to memory, and clears the session. So as you see here, it saved the session in memory, and it shows what we captured. So it researched 7 trending OpenClaw video topics. It basically went over everything that we just talked about in the last session that I had before making this video. So if you do this, it's going to set you up for success on everything you build moving forward. I asked OpenClaw exactly how we set it up because there's several different ways to say this. Honestly, at the end of the day, it's more important that you think about how to get to your goals than just copy and paste prompts. So I would even, test that with, hey, I want to create a memory system. Can you help me get there? But if you want more exact prompts, it's something like this. This is what happens when we type in new session. It summarizes, saves to memory, and clears the session. So it kind of goes through its behavior on what it does. It says it summarizes key decisions, outcomes, and important info from current sessions. It saves it to the memory under timestamps and an entry, and it formats it. It has literally this on what it does. It has real examples, and it has the configuration steps of just compact and safeguard. I might even do a separate doc and just copy and paste this entire blurb on there for you to copy and paste if you want to run that. If you want me to do that, let me know down below in the comments, but I really want to move on to the next thing before spending a ton of time on just the memory. Number 2 is much shorter than number 1. You can tell it to update itself, and you need to do this aggressively. So just follow OpenClaw on X, and they post updates multiple times a week. I literally just take the link from that update, make sure it's the official X, of course. I paste it into my Moltbook, and I say update yourself. This one I said update yourself again. It takes a few minutes. You can see this is 11:16 when I prompted this, and it updated by 11:18, and it said it successfully updated from the model it was on to the new model. It told me how long it took, which is 73 seconds, how everything went, and that it updated its memory to the latest version info. And sometimes these have really cool things in them. They have easier access, less bugs. We'll be getting these updates, I would imagine, pretty aggressively. Make sure to stay on top of these and to have it update itself constantly. Number 3 is skills. Now, I want to be crystal clear with skills. Skills are basically somebody spent a lot of time building a system, and all you have to do, and it's open source, meaning all you have to do is tell your Claude bot, or whatever this is called now, tell your OpenClaw to go and inherit that skill. The problem and one of the issues here is sometimes people do malicious things because they know people are going to go download them, and they'll make it look really nice, and they'll do what's called a prompt injection, or they'll do something else malicious. And if you go and copy that skill, you could expose your API keys, you could expose your computer. Like, it could be a security nightmare. So you don't want to just go and tell your Claude bot to go download all the skills off the internet that you see. However, if you see them from official people, and I'm going to give you 2 examples of what I saw that I did, and you need it, you think the skill would be cool, then you should do it. So the first one was actually made by Peter, which was the founder of OpenClaw, and it was a Google skill. And I asked my own OpenClaw if this would be useful for like Google searches, and it told me you're dumb. It didn't say that exactly, but it says this is actually what it's going to be good for. It'll help you send and read emails. It'll help you upload and download files, read and write spreadsheet data, access document content, create calendar events, create forms. Basically do everything you can do within your Google workspace. So that's crazy. So I was like, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's implement that. And then boom, it set the whole thing up. And yes, I still have to go in and configure it, which I have yet to do yet because I'm prioritizing other things. And what that means is I basically have to like go in, create I think for this specifically, you need a Google Workspace account, and you need to give it access that way. I did give it access to something else like related to Google, but it's a little bit different. But that's one example. The next example is an X research skill. So what this does is it saves me a ton of time researching things. Like this morning I woke up and I said, like, is there anything new on OpenClaw, or like what are people talking about? It researched X for me using the official X API using this tool. So this, again, I saw on Twitter from an official X engineer. And I literally just copied and pasted the engineer's hyperlink into my bot. And I said, can you implement this skill? It said, sure. It got the skill and it optimized it, and it told me exactly what I needed to do next. I did the next steps, and boom, I now have a research skill inside of my OpenClaw. There is free ways to do this. I am one that likes to play by the rules, and I'll just pay for it. I am using the official X developer skill. I am using the official X or XAI API, meaning I am paying per use, so I'm trying to be pretty scarce when I use it because that can get expensive. The research I did this morning probably cost me like 20 cents for one research, but again, it went through hundreds of tweets and found out exactly what people are talking about and broke it down into detail for me. But the point of me even talking about any of this is when you see skills that are applicable to you and you trust the developer, just tell your bot just to go download the skill, and then boom, it's ready. And you want to see all these skills that your bots are running, all the different bots, and all this on one main page, which leads me to my 4th thing that I teased you with at the beginning of the video. So this is when we get to the fun stuff, creating a brain or a mission control or whatever you want to call it. If you're hosting on your Mac, if you bought a Mac Mini, or if you're hosting on your computer, you can get your agent to just set this up on your computer. If you're not, you can work with something that's already created. I use Notion just because I'm already really efficient with Notion. I use it all the time. But before diving in on exactly how to build this, I want to show you, like, I have things like skills categorized. So if you look over here, you know, I just told you about the XAI Grok search skill that I implemented. Well, it's working and it's ready. And if something went wrong and it wasn't ready, then my bot would change that. It would change it to not working. It also has agents that I'm using. I'm using all of these agents. I'm using all the way from Sonnet to Opus. This one I wouldn't consider the Agents 2.0. That was kind of something else. But these are all the agents that I am actively using. It also has things in here like tasks that we're working on. Some of these I created or told it to create. Some of these it went on itself to create. I have a lot of things in here. I could scroll down and show you more. But the main point of this is like setting this thing up. So what I did was I actually used my research skill, my XAI Grok research skill, and I used the smartest system out of all of this, in my opinion, which is Opus 4.6, and I got it to research Twitter on all of these different types of brains and systems and everything that people are creating to keep everything in one place. And got it to condense it down to some cool things that would be cool to implement to our system. I also just thought, using my brain on things that would be useful, like task management. I would like to see all my agents in one place. I'd like to see all my skills in one place. You could kind of, have this set for yourself on like, what do you want to see on this dashboard, and go from there. But if you want to set this up, I'll show you exactly how I did it. So here I did what I do every time, and I said, hey, if I was explaining to somebody how to set this up, what would I do? And basically, here's what it gave me. You would need, if you wanted to go the Notion route, you would have to go to the integration/API token, like the Notion API, and you would have to get that. It's pretty. You can just go into your Notion settings, and you'll see connections, and you'll find it from there. But if you're hosting this on your desktop or something, you don't need to do that. You can just tell it just to create you like a folder or whatever way that it would recommend to do this. I just use Notion. I'm not saying you have to. You get a blank page, have Node.js 22, which you should already have if you set up this Moltbook. My gosh, I always forget. OpenClaw. I forget the name. They went to CloudBot, to Moltbot, to OpenClaw. And then you do an npm install at Notion/client. And you can literally just do this full prompt. And again, if you want me to like create a doc and like link the doc there, then let me know like down below at the end of this video. Give me time. I am taking care of people right now, so give me time and I will get back with you. I don't know if you guys want that or not. But if you wanted this copied and pasted, it would just be build me a Notion dashboard for my AI agents. Include green status callouts, task databases, an agent database, a skills database, a quick reference callout. Basically, whatever you need in there, you tell it to build you. And then what I constantly did too is how I would ask the AI agent how can we make this better? What can we do better? And pretty much anytime I get a vision for something, like I think about, it'd be cool to see this in real time. I think I had cost on there as well, like how much everything cost me. I get it to implement that to the dashboard and continue going on there. And we have one final huge recommendation, but it's a little cheeky. I'll get to it in just a second. The last thing I want to say is it's okay if not everything goes exactly as planned at first. Even making this video, I was trying to do something with my dashboard and it reverted back my dashboard to where I currently had it. I spent 20 minutes in the middle of this video trying to get my dashboard back to where it was. That happens. I'm going to be transparent about it. Like, these AI agents aren't as smart as everybody's making them out to be yet, but they will make you more productive. They will keep things organized, and they will get you to your goals. I genuinely believe that. So the fifth thing that I wish I knew, I've already made a video on. That's why I said it was a little cheeky earlier, and that is setting up your OpenClaw with an actual LLM, not with an API call. And I made an entire video on that. I'll leave it at the end of this video. You can click on it above. But all that is instead of paying for every single API call that you do, which gets stupid expensive, I spent like $100 in like 3 days. You use your subscription that you're already paying for. I did this with Claude because I'm already paying for Claude Max, and it's a pretty simple walkthrough that I've already created for you. I would if you're going to be using this often, I would 100% do this. Now, with that being said, as I said in the video, that's an entire walkthrough to that. I'm not saying that this is completely for their policies. There's a lot of debate whether it goes against their policies or not. I have no idea. Claude's been pretty aggressive towards this OpenClaw basically since they launched, so who really knows? And then the last thing I'll leave you with is a quick little setup if you care. I'm just going to run through it real quick though. Here's a quick little rundown. This is not a full out tutorial. If you want a full tutorial on safety, security, and all that, then let me know. Go to the official OpenClaw X. Click on the website there. It's literally openclaw.ai, or you can just type in openclaw.ai into your browser. And there's this one line of code, and it's literally just right here. And if you're on Mac, you would choose Mac, and you can actually download this. But you could just go here, you copy this line, and you would go to your terminal. You can literally go to your little search bar at the bottom of your computer, or just type into one of your AI platforms, how do I find my terminal? And you paste this one line of code into your terminal, and it will walk you through the whole process. However, I do not recommend doing this on your main computer. You don't want an AI bot, in my opinion, having access to all your personal information, as well as your all those things like downloading these skills. If you do accidentally do anything malicious, you don't want anything tied to your personal information. That's why there's two main routes to go here. If you have the capital, buy a second computer. You can buy something as cheap as $75 for like with a Raspberry Pi, or you can buy a Mac Mini, or you can buy a whole Mac Studio if you're rolling like that. Or you can use the VPS. The VPS is more tech savvy and more complex. That's what I use. You're basically able to operate a VPS off of your main computer without actually it touching any of your stuff. If you want a full tutorial on that, I can give you a full tutorial on putting it, with the VPS. But I thought I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't at least show you how easy this is to get started. If you guys like this, do all the social media things, subscribe, do all those things, and I'll see you guys next video.